Ain't no half stepping with Marcus J. Thank y'all for staying with us. We appreciate it. We getting a lot of love out there. We having some technical difficulties, but we working through it. And the love we getting, even though we having technical difficulties, of course, we appreciate the listeners here of Ain't No Half Stepping with Marcus J, as well as Legacy Internet Radio. At this time of the show, every single week, we always profile a missing and/or exploited child. This week is no different. This week's missing child is Karima Sims. Karima Sims is missing from East Orange, New Jersey. She's been missing since January 18, 2014. Her date of birth is September 2nd, 2000. She's 13-year-old black female with black hair and brown eyes. She stands 4'8", 90 pounds. I'll make sure that the photographs of Karima make it to all of our Facebook fan pages, Ain't No Half Stepping with Marcus J page, Legacy and that radio page, as well as on our MixLR, so everyone can see her. We got listeners in Jersey. We need y'all to keep your eyes open for Karima Sims. If you have seen her, please contact the National Center for Missing and/or Exploited Children, missingkids.com, or contact them by phone at 1-800-THE-LOST, 1-800-843-5678, or contact the local authorities. Ain't no half stepping with Marcus J. We appreciate the support we get. All right, that's why I want you up on this one first. No. Damn it, pick that mic up. Quit messing with me.
Yes, sir.
There you go. Damn, that was like sexy.
Sir.
That was like a sexy yes sir. Like, yes, sir. Like, wow, okay. I have been talking, we have been talking about Jordan Davis for the last few weeks. When the Jordan Davis case initially happened in November 2012, we were somewhere else. And the story went dormant while we were waiting for it to go to trial. And over the last few months, you know, as we went through the situation with Trayvon Martin and George Zimmerman, I wanted to make a point of telling the listeners that we was getting ready to go through this again. Mm-hmm. And for those people that didn't think that it was real, you know, we talked about it very, very loosely because I wanted to see what would happen down there in Florida before I really, really commented on it. Michael Dunn basically was the 47-year-old white man who happened upon a gas station and saw a SUV that had 4 black males in it, one of those being Jordan Davis. They had loud music playing. Loud music, it was probably hip-hop, which is annoying as hell to anybody who's not actually listening to it themselves. What happens next, you know, you can follow the case, you can read the transcripts, you can do what you want to get the details on that. But basically what happens next is there's a verbal altercation that culminates in Michael Dunn pulling out his gun and shooting into the SUV, approximately 9 shots. 3 of those 9 shots hit Jordan Davis, killing him. The other 6 don't hit anything other than the vehicle. Allegedly, along with shooting at the vehicle, he's shooting as he's driving away, Michael Dunn. His girlfriend, or fiance rather, was in the store. She comes out, jumps in the car when they drive away. And Michael Dunn doesn't call the police, doesn't do anything until later on. Eventually, he's arrested, goes to jail while awaiting his trial. He's charged with 3 counts of attempted murder and 1 count of first-degree murder. Jury came out on Saturday, which on the weekend, it's ironic because people don't like to pay attention to the games that they like to play with us. We like to pay attention to the fact that they deliberated for 30 hours. Yeah, big freaking deal. Never mind that the jury came out on Saturday when, you know, if it would have come out at 2 o'clock on a Monday, we could have been at work riled up talking about it, but nah, they wanted to come out on the weekend, so you'll have all day Sunday to relax, just like the Zimmerman case did. Coincidence, huh? Not really. Because OJ came out on a Tuesday, and you saw how we acted a damn fool with that. But I digress. You gotta have some social commentary. I can't just give you the facts. I have some social commentary. I have some social commentary too. Anyway, I got a question for anybody who wants to answer the question. By the way, I just want to say that I got big issue with the verdict. I'll just preface my statement by saying that. He is found guilty of 3 counts of attempted murder, but he is found not guilty of first-degree murder. I got a problem with that. Now, let me just say this before I turn it over to you as well. I want you on this one first. Like George Zimmerman, Michael Dunn was overcharged. He was overcharged because this was not first-degree murder. He didn't wake up that day and say, I'm going to go and kill Jordan Davis. There was no premeditation here. There was heat of the moment. This dude pissed me off. I'm in an altercation. I'm going to kill him. I'm going to fix him. Right. That's not first-degree murder. So he was overcharged, just like George Zimmerman was overcharged. But he was found not guilty. Well, not guilty. He wasn't found not guilty. Let me fix that. It was a hung jury, which means they could try him again. But here's where you lose me. You get found guilty of trying to kill 3 people, but y'all can't come to a consensus on the one person he killed. Now, I understand about the overcharge. It just seems a little odd to me. That's why I'm out my damn mind, which I am most of the time. But am I out my damn mind on this one?
No, you're not out of your mind. And when I heard it, I just kind of turned off the TV because you just pretty much know the outcome. You know, the one thing that he needs to be convicted of, he was not convicted of. And I think that Florida has now given permission, and I thought it before, it's the same thing. They have now given permission for white folks to kill a black person. That's just my feeling. They've given them permission. They're not going to suffer anything. Now, this man is going, I think he got like 60 years.
There is mandatory minimums on each of the counts.
It's 20, right?
There's a mandatory minimum of 20 years on each count of attempted murder that he was convicted of. And depending on which lawyer you listen to, it either runs concurrently or consecutively. Everything that I've heard says that it runs consecutively, which is where we get the 60 years from. Yes.
So, you know, that's fine and all that he goes to jail, but he needs to go to jail for murder.
For killing Jordan Davis.
And that's the problem that I have as well.
Well, you know, I feel bad for Jordan Davis's family because they don't get the satisfaction of saying justice was brought for our son. They don't get that satisfaction because it wasn't ruled that way. However, I listened to an analyst, a legal analyst on one of your favorite talk shows this afternoon, and they presented to him your same question. How can you be found guilty of attempted murder but not of the actual murder that you committed? And the lawyer stated, you know, that basically an argument is the angle of the shots that are fired. And basically that when you are shooting, now you're attempting to, after that first shot, you're now attempting to kill this person. Now, they say one shot can be, okay, now that's your response. You feel threatened. But then after he begins to pursue to shoot, then that's attempted murder. But they're saying that there's no specific, he's shooting in the car, so there's no specific bullet that they're saying that is actually meant for Jordan Davis. And so it's difficult to determine if that's who he was shooting at. And to add, the lawyer said that he thought that was, more or less BS.
Why would that even matter?
But he's saying it's BS, but he's also saying that it's basically a loophole that you can use to, get out of a certain outcome.
If I'm going to fire so many rounds at a vehicle, there are people in the vehicle. It's common sense that I may, at minimum hurt somebody. But you just fired, I think 10 shots into the car.
But see, the problem is how the law is worded, which is when they came out and said, is it possible for us to convict on this but not convict on something else? That's basically what they were asking. And then the other legal analysts, because they get different points of view, the other legal analysts basically said that they were never going to charge him with first-degree murder anyway. Like, they were always looking for second-degree murder. So, to Marcus's point,
again,
they overcharge.
Find me guilty of trying to, and I did it.
I personally feel a little better in this situation only because, you know,
I don't feel good about it.
he's going to go to jail basically for the rest of his life. He's going away, and
good.
he was never, I don't think, going to get the death penalty anyway. I don't know if Florida they do death penalty.
Florida go
they
hard.
Do? Okay. Well, you know, he may have gotten the death penalty, but you know, I do have certain satisfaction knowing that he won't get to roam free.
Well, this isn't, in my opinion, you know, what's fair is fair. This is not a death penalty case.
No.
There's no premeditation here. This wasn't a first degree murder. I ain't no lawyer. I stayed at a Holiday Inn once, but I ain't no lawyer. You know what I mean? So this isn't a death penalty case. So I you know, if I'm to follow the law, which I have issues with, but if I am to follow the law, then I'm not okay with death penalty here. But I think it should have been second degree murder, voluntary manslaughter, something like that. You know, first degree murder, I mean, once he was charged, that's why Casey Anthony went home, because it wasn't first degree murder. That's why George Zimmerman went home, because it wasn't first degree murder. Florida has a history of overcharging in these high profile cases. Now, I don't know why they do it. It's real easy to say that it's racially, you know, influenced, but Casey Anthony was a white woman that was charged with killing her white babies, and she was charged with first degree murder, and people got all up in arms saying, oh my God, I can't believe she got off. This is what happens when you overcharge. You know what it is? I'm gonna tell you what it is. They overcharge these people and hope that they take a plea. They want them to take a plea, and you know what I'm saying? They're charging them with first degree murder, which comes with, you know, life or death or whatever it is, and they want them to take a plea for 25 years. And when they say, hell no, I ain't taking your plea, I ain't do it. Or hell no, I ain't taking your plea, I think I could beat it. And then they actually go to court and then beat it. Then you got the public screaming like, oh shit, what just happened?
Right.
And that's what happened with George Zimmerman.
Incompetence.
Well, I mean
for overcharging. Like,
yeah,
you said, they hoping for the slam dunk. It's just incompetence. Go for what's guaranteed. Like they banking on those pleas.
Gopher was guaranteed. Gopher was fair.
Yep.
Gopher was accurate.
Go for murder.
Go for second degree if it's second degree. This is just, you know, I don't see how you think this is first degree. He didn't wake up this morning and say, I'm going to go kill Jordan Davis. He didn't.
Right.
He happened upon him. It was a heat of passion type of deal. He got, you know, scared, if that's what you want to call it. I mean, first of all, I think it's crazy that you got people walking around. Like, you got a military dude right now that's in prison for 25 years who pulled his gun out because he got caught up in a melee. He stood his ground because he happened to be a place where a melee broke out. And I had to look this up to give you the specifics on this. But he wasn't even trying to hurt nobody. He just pulled his gun out. Somebody was standing over. He pulled his gun out to shoot, to say, get away from me. And now he's doing 25 years. Marissa Alexander, she shot into the ceiling at a dude that was busting her ass. They pick and choose when stand your ground is okay. There's a case out of Orlando right now for a young dude who happened to be running through a yard, and the dude who owned the house shot him because the dude's pants was sagging and he had his hand in his pocket and he was scared. Think about that for a second. Think about that. So basically, all you got to do is have on a hood, your pants sag, and your hands in your pocket. That's not always white dudes, black dudes. I'm sorry. White dudes look like that too. So this racial profiling thing that goes on, you know, we need to be cognizant of it. But see, the thing is, we teach our kids to be aware, but it needs to be bigger than that. It really does. It needs to be bigger than that. Ain't no how stepping one Marcus said. Let's move on as we talking about racial stuff, because I ain't scared to talk about it. You scared to talk about racial stuff?
I ain't scared.
Jay, you scared to talk about racial stuff? All right, cool. Because before I go on, I need to make sure, because if y'all scared to talk about race stuff, then we can talk about, like, Shameless last night on Showtime. You know, Fiona went to jail. You want to talk about that, or you want to talk about
Hey, look,
the
we
stuff
can get
that
into the racist stuff too, but man, that Shameless joint, man.
Yo, Shameless like be the best show on television. Yo.
Man.
What the heck? What show?
Shout out to Sue right now. Sue put me on the Shameless.
Batman?
Yes.
Batman put us on. Yo, Shameless like the best show.
Shameless,
and
oh
Fiona
Never heard of it.
Shanola Hampton with her fine self. Honest. Marcus mustache ass. Anyway, ain't no stepping with Marcus J. All right, I'm getting this next one.
Y'all.
The next one, also from
The Huffington Post.
Clarence Thomas, everybody's favorite justice.
My man.
Clarence Thomas, not Clarence Carter, but Clarence Thomas.
Yeah, they on the same lines. though.
Clarence Thomas says that Americans are more sensitive about race now than they were in the 1960s. And so I bring this up because I want to know if I'm out my damn mind for thinking he out his damn mind, or is he actually out his damn mind. We all know Clarence Thomas, conservative black Supreme Court justice, says that Americans, he doesn't specifically say blacks or whites or other, he says Americans are too sensitive about race, claiming the nation is, quote, more difference conscious now than they were in the 60s. Quote, my sadness is that we are probably today more race and difference conscious than I was in the 1960s when I went to school. To my knowledge, I was the first black kid in Savannah, Georgia to go to a white school. Rarely did the issue of race come up. Savannah, Georgia, by the way. Thomas said during an interview appearance in Florida, quote, now name a day that it doesn't come up. Thomas says everybody is sensitive about sex and race, or if someone doesn't look at you right, somebody says something. If I had been sensitive in the 1960s, I'd still be in Savannah. Every person in this room has endured a slight. Every person, somebody has said something that has hurt their feelings or did something to them, left them out. That's part of the deal. Thomas was later criticized for his statements by a panel on CNN that included Huffington Post Live host Mark Lamont Hill, who says he's had a long history of walking through doors and closing them behind him. He acknowledges no part that affirmative action played a part in his life, but he wants to close the door for others. What's so remarkable about this statement is that it neglects the fact that the mid-'60s, when he was a kid, you could get killed if you were a black person for speaking about race. This is what CNN senior legal analyst Jeffrey Toobin has said. So, JR, I want you on in this one first. We talking about race tonight because you've already said that you're not scared to talk about race,
I'm
right?
not.
Okay. All right. So, Clarence Thomas says that we tripping for talking about race here in America. Do you think he's tripping, or do you think I'm tripping for bringing it up?
Neither.
Okay.
And the reason I say that is, I said neither.
Everybody, that's Jay Grizzy and Lissa P in the back. They in here chilling. They not on the mic tonight, but everybody hear the feedback in the back. That's what we got going on. Jay Grizzy and Lissa P, they host the Green Room version 2.0 with Jay Grizzy and Lissa P every single Wednesday night from 7 to 9 p.m. If you listen to me, you need to be listening to them. JR.
All right. Basically, and the reason I say neither is because, we go back to the statements from the guy from Duck Dynasty, and how that took, the social media by storm. And then Clarence Thomas comes out and he says this, and I stopped for a second today after reading the article, and I was like, maybe he has a point. And the reason I say that is because when you go back to his time for a second. Now, yes, you could be killed for even mentioning, speaking to a white person, looking at a white person, making eye contact, whistling at a white woman, or, any various number of things. But at the same time, we as a people weren't necessarily worried about what everybody else was doing either. We weren't concerned with, this person or that person. We were concerned about, as a community, making a way for ourselves and building ourselves up. Today, if somebody even looks at you wrong, people ready to fight. Somebody step on your shoes, you ready to fight. Somebody, people, I don't, now when he says that, we're more racially sensitive, I just think we're more sensitive. We're more hot-headed nowadays. Everybody wants to prove that they the man, so to speak, and that ain't nobody gonna talk down to them, ain't nobody gonna do nothing. Just like the Jordan Davis case, going back to the Jordan Davis case, when they said one friend wanted to turn the music down, Jordan Davis was like, nah, man, F that. Like, we gonna turn the music up. This is America. I may be black, you may be white, but this is America. He didn't say that, I don't know. But I'm just, going through the mind, like how I would be. Like, you ain't gonna tell me I'm turning my music down. Like, if my music is up, then my music is up. That's just what I'm doing. But under that same token, that's the feeling that as people, not even just in America, but as a nation, as a whole. Like, you got North Korea, they're like, man, we don't care about the USA, we're going to fire off some missiles. Like, everybody is in that type of state, and I just think it just so happens that because of the civil rights movement, every group, and even groups within groups, so just like there are just black people as a whole are angry when white people say the N-word. Now, within that faction of people, you have gay black people who, may even get it even worse from their churches and from their friends and from their family. So factions within factions of people, I think, it's just created an atmosphere of tenseness.
You know what? I think you're out your mind.
Me?
Uh-oh.
And I'm going to tell you why I think you're out your mind.
Okay.
While you were reading that, I was like, really? Does this moron need any attention? He doesn't. Why are we even talking about this fool? He said he was the first black person into a white school. Did he not see?
In that school, yeah.
Won't everybody
Did he
uncle
not
the
see
first
that?
man to do something, though?
Did he not notice he was the first person? Did he not have the little black and white 13-inch TV? Did he not see or hear word of protestings? What was wrong? Whatever he was on, he needs to stop using it. He did not deserve any attention for that asinine statement.
He's
None
a justice.
whatsoever.
He's gonna get the attention regardless.
I don't want to break the jar.
Here's the deal, though. I think that it warrants discussion when people in places of prominence say these kinds of things because they have the ear of the detractors. And so when the detractors get to be riled up and they get to talking, we who disagree with that cannot be silent. We cannot lay dormant because if we do,
Mm-hmm.
they will control the discussion. And we cannot allow that to happen, which is the reason why every time Clarence Thomas says something that is racially insensitive, particularly from a black man in a position, I mean, it don't get much higher than Supreme Court justice. I mean, like, he's going to die in that position unless he chooses not to. You know what I mean? And so he's important. Whether we agree with his politics or not, he's important. And so we cannot ignore him when he has an opinion.
I hope somebody's paying attention to that and just, what an ass.
I mean, I suppose he is, but we can't ignore him.
Right, especially when you look at the fact that how many presidents has he been through? You know, he's presidents have come and gone, and he's still there. And this current president will be gone, and he'll still be there. So, I think he definitely holds a considerable.
Right. I see the point there. I see the point.
We getting some love on mix in the social media in MixLR from Sexy C. I think we know who that is.
Hola, chica.
Sexy C, it says what's up. She says hello to Marcus J before she says that's why.
You know why? She thinks dyslexic.
Is that what it is?
That's what it is.
Is it that?
Woman, I told you we're going to have to see your doctor about this.
I think I'm cuter than you. That's what it is. Ain't no half stepping with Marcus J.
That's not a plus, honey.
I'm just saying.
I mean,
no problem. I'm not homophobic. I'm okay with being cute.
You can't be cuter than I.
Sure I am.
No.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
I am.
That's a myth.
Is it?
In your head.
I mean, but like that's
all by yourself.
For real?
Yeah.
Just like crickets.
You're self-proclaimed cuter than me.
I can deal with it though, cause
and they not crickets, they frogs. That's what you hear.
I can't even. Hey, look, JR, she just threw the big joker on the table, like for real. Dominoes, man through the table, like
Land it,
like what am I supposed to do with that? I Steppin Marcus.